Hello, good morning. Sorry, I'm just a little bit late. Anyway, I would like to welcome you on to my 9 o'clock live every Fridays. We are here I always try to inspire home decor and gift sharing. So really a lot of the things that we could do, you could either keep or share, love or share, right? So I'm going to wait. I see one person on. I don't know who it is, but hello. Today's Friday. Can you believe it? The end of April already. I mean, I just, I don't know. It's just going by so fast. So, hi, Rachel. Thanks for watching this morning. Thank you. So anyway, well, Rachel, you know who I am, right? But in case anybody sees me on the replay, my name is Jackie, and I am the store owner of Shabbyology in Covina, California. We are a elite retailer for Dixie Belle products. We carry the whole complete paint and the new silk line and some of the bells and whistles items, which are transfers, stencils, decoupage papers. We carry, various brushes. We also carry Would You Bend, and we also, let's see. Well, and then we carry all kinds of other things because we're a blended boutique. So anyway, let me see what else. That's about it, honey. I can't even think of anything else. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And let me see. I got to try to get this thing on here because as soon as I turn this camera down, I won't be able to see. I don't know why I never can get this figured out. But I think it should be coming on pretty soon here. I just have to scroll down till I get to oh wait, is this it? Nope, that's not it. Am I even on the right thing? Let me see here. Options. Anyway, let's on desktop. I'm not on my desktop. I wonder what's going on here. All right, let me hit this menu button. Go here. Go to the Shabbyology page. Okay. It's hard to tell because I always wear the same clothes, so it's like I'm trying to find the videos. All right. Hopefully it'll come on. Is this me? Yeah, here I am. Yay. Okay, I found it. Okay, cool. All right, let me boost unavailable. I don't want boost. Okay. All right, so I'll be able to see hopefully I'll be able to see the comments now. Anyway, uh-oh. Something happened. That's what happens. I always hit the wrong buttons, right? Okay, actually, I'm gonna take off this denim jacket. It's one of those May gray, they're starting that May gray thing. And then we have, what's May gray and, June gloom. So anyway, it's moist outside, so it's making me get warm. Okay, so today, the project that I want to work on, now I no longer sell the silicone molds that we're going to be working with today, or one of them, but we do have quite a bit of what I call our house supply of the silicone molds that if you wanted to use them, you can certainly come in. If you don't have, with these silicone molds, you can use air dry clay, you can use resin, you can use hot glue. If you want to come in, make something, use our molds, you would have to purchase, you could bring in your own glue gun, You can bring in your own resin. You can bring in your own clay. And then we just, you know, depending on how, I don't know, we just kind of play it by ear on how much we charge you. Not much, because you're just using it for your own thing. But anyway, so because I no longer sell these, you know, on a retail basis, I still use them, and I like the molds. So anyway, let me, this is going to be kind of like a two-step project here, because I had to let some stuff dry overnight, so that then we can get to it. But I'll start with this. All right, so let me see. So as my title in my event thing stated, that we're going to use urns and flowers today. So I want to just show you, you know, now I have to tell you, if you're looking for pictures for urns, make sure you type in garden urns, because I looked at urns and it came up with a bunch of urns for cremation, right? But you can find pictures like this, you know, on the internet. You can use those for inspiration, and you can actually even manipulate these to make the size that you want, if you want to use it to trace or something, just so you could get the shape. I did not, you know, readjust the size on this. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. And just, so let's get started, because I'll show you what we're going to do, okay? Let's get you down here. Is it okay? Okay, I think that's good, huh? All right. So, yeah, there. Okay, so here's the silicone mold I'm talking about, okay? They're bendable, you know. These are actually even food grade. You can even put, like if you're a cake decorator, you could even put fondant and stuff in here. Now, you'll notice on the next piece that I used several different designs, okay? But this one, because I'm just going to put it on this board. This is just a regular old board, okay? I, of course, cleaned it and painted it with our fluff paint. Just did a quick coat on it. This is going to be, I'm going to have this as the urn this way, and then we'll have a trim piece here. So let me just show you real quick how we do this. So what you do is you take some, now as you can see, this one has not been used before. This one has. You see how this one's kind of have the white in there? And you can, I guess technically you're supposed to, wash them after you use them. So far over the years I haven't washed any. I just keep doing it. You use cornstarch in the molds so that it helps the air dry clay come out. Now if you're using resin or hot glue gun, you don't put the cornstarch in, okay? You only use the cornstarch if you're using air dry clay. I personally prefer air dry clay, especially on the project that we're doing today. I want you to, I don't care, because urns are, you know, they're old, you know, and they kind of look, I want it to look, I don't want it to look brand new. Okay, let's just put it that way. So, okay. So I put the cornstarch in. Now what I do is, you can tell there's quite a bit in certain sections. You don't want to leave the cornstarch in like this, because if you do, it will dry out your clay. So you just it's like, you know, when you have to flour a pan for baking, same type of thing. You put it in there, and then you just kind of, I just kind of pat it off, okay? And then see how different it looks, okay? So now, this is the air dry clay. The there's not a particular brand. Again, I don't sell these products anymore. This is just some that I purchase online. And okay, so we're going to, oh, actually, I should roll this out. You kind of want to kind of pre-form, your clay to kind of like, like this, like the size that we did, okay? So we're going to put this in here. Now this may or may not come out as one piece because I actually haven't used this one in a long time, so I'm not sure how it comes out, if it comes out in one piece. But that's okay, it'd actually be better if it does. Okay. So basically, we're going to be making a topiary. Now, like I showed you, those pictures, and topiaries can come in, concrete, they come in plastic, they come in cast iron, and you know how they look all nice and worn. Those are the kind that I prefer, depending on where I'm putting it in my yard. Or in the house or something. So I'm just putting it in there. Oh, good, I'll have just enough to finish this, or to do this one. Now, you see this dry one right here. Oftentimes, well, hardly, when I don't have anything to do, or my girls here in the store, we will, these have been here for a while, but I plan on making some more, because what we do is we pre-make these and then we bag them up and sell them. Now that's good because they're flat, okay? Now if you these molds or castings, this is actually the mold, this is the casting, you can use it to wrap around an item. See, kind of like this, how we wrapped it on here, and then it will hold, forms that curvature. Okay, so let me get this off. We want it nice and flat because we're going to glue it. And yes, we use wood glue, okay? Now, as you can see, I'm going in small increments or small sections, right? Save your clay. Now, I prefer something like this spatula because it's just big enough that it can cover 99% of our molds, from side to side. So now on a big mold like this, you have to be careful because you can, as you're pulling it out, you can pull some of the mold out. You'll notice, I'm sure it will happen, that then you can just fill it, push it in, okay? As we get like this section here. And, okay. So, oftentimes people think, well, where do you get? We do sell transfers here. Like I say, the Dixie Belle Bells and Whistles brand. I do have a few still of the old ones that I used to sell. I try to use those up, though, in my projects. It's kind of hard because I do a project and then people want that. But, okay, so then you're pushing down kind of as you're scraping as well, because as you push down, the less chance, you see like these little sections, those may or may not be a little bit difficult to pull out, but see how clean the edge is getting? That's what you want. Now, this one kind of, I pulled that out a little bit. You just fill it in. And now, on this particular one, it just so happens because of the size of the board that I'm using, this is going to be my, basically, my whole design, okay? You can take any of these shapes. I'll show you in a second. I just wanted to do this first step because I had to do this step last night in order to, or yesterday, in order to have it ready for this morning on this other one, the piece that we're actually going to finish. I just wanted to show this part so that you could see how it's done. Also, if you, oops, if you wanted to come in and do this, and I could do like a little class, and, you know, we can arrange something like that as well. Then you would use our products and my knowledge and our products, you know, then that way, and I couldn't even begin to tell you how much we would charge. We'd have to look into that, so. But I think this, wait till you see it though, it's very cute. I cannot lie, this is a offshoot of a video that I saw from another person. Oh my gosh. Oh, her name is Lynn, but I can't think of the name of her store right now. Oh, I can't think of it. Darn it. I should have looked it up, I suppose. Okay. So there's little areas that I've pulled out. But I'm going to take, hi, Mike. Hi, honey, thanks. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Izzy's graduating already. How lucky, huh? Now she can be off to new ventures in her life, which I'm sure will be wonderful. Are you guys flying home today? Anyway, I know, I barely recognized you. First time I've ever seen you in long pants. Okay. All right. So now I've filled in those little areas. And to be honest with you, even if it doesn't come out 100%, I don't care because I want this urn to look kind of old, you know, not brand new. And so some of the techniques that we're going to, well, I'm actually going to be experimenting with a technique I haven't tried before. I mean, I've used the product, but not on the clay. So we'll see. Okay, this looks good enough. Okay. All right, so now here's the challenge, is getting this thing out of here. Okay, so you always never throw away your little bits and pieces, because you can do that to pick it all up, okay? And you always keep it in an air dry container, a Ziploc bag, as well as a airtight container that you put the bag in, because it's an air dry clay, so if the air gets to it, you're gonna walk in and it'll be as hard as a rock. Okay, so, all right. So now, so you just flip these over. Let's hope this comes out good. And you just kind of roll it. Sometimes you have to help it. Plus, sometimes there's like thinner and small, more intricate areas that you kind of have to help a little bit. Uh-oh. Now this part came out. Oh, I can fix that. Okay. let's see. And you just roll it back, okay? And, okay, see? This little piece came off, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be perfect anyway, right? In fact, can't even tell where it's supposed to go because it doesn't match that one. Oh well, I'm gonna leave it there. Okay, so we're done with that part, right? So now you're like, oh my gosh, now what? Well, believe it or not, we have to flip this puppy over and we're gonna glue it. You use wood glue to attach it. So I clean this off real well. Okay. And even if that little piece doesn't come with us, we can glue it separate. Okay. So you take some wood glue, nothing fancy schmancy, just some wood glue. If you can get it out of the container. This thing, I love it and I hate it at the same time because I always have to cut the piece off and pretty soon I'm not going to have any more of the the spout left. So what I'm going to, well, can't do it. I'm going to have to do it like this. So you have to be careful because the wood glue, although I have just recently saw that they do have a clear, hi Patty, thanks for coming on, that they do have a clear wood glue. Because wood glue will, as you can see, it's yellow. It will dry yellow. And so you try not to, you could use a brush, you can use a small popsicle stick like I'm doing because you don't want it to ooze out on the sides unless you can grab it, clean it up as soon as it squishes out from your design. But you have to, but also if you're going to paint it, which that's what we're going to do today as well, sometimes it doesn't matter, okay? But I am not going to go buy that clear glue yet because I have a gallon of this glue. And until I use all that up, then I will. But this wood glue is good because it works on, you use the same thing like on our Wood You Bin products. You use the wood glue. And you can basically use it for anything really. It's glue. So I just want to get as much on here as I possibly can. Again, this is, you'll see when we move over to the next thing. This is just something, I had to do this yesterday, see? So this is why I thought, well, I don't want to just show you that piece and then not show you how it's done. Okay? Okay, pretty much it's pretty well covered. It's just like buttering toast, you got to get it on there. Good. Especially the the border edges, okay? And then this little guy, I'll figure out where this guy goes once I flip it over. Okay. Now this would be considered more of a home decor item, I think. But you could make it and give it as a gift, especially on the size that I'm doing here. This is a perfect little gift size. Okay, so I'm going to now flip this over. Now you can take, like I said, you can take a copy of an urn. If you're an artist, you can sketch an outline just to give you some kind of form to follow, guidelines to follow. I did not do that because this is going to be I just use this like a spatula, except I've got to do it, I'm doing it upside down. There. Okay. And it's not an instant stick. I'll be able to move it, see? I want this. Okay. Kind of just shifted a little bit. Now you see how the glue has gotten all over the place? Doesn't matter. I'm going to paint it. And to be honest with you, I don't even care that it might have some little bumps in there of the glue. I could probably, this may not be 100%, but okay. So I could probably take this and try to get some of the glue off. To be honest with you, it doesn't matter to me. Okay. All right, so now this piece is one of those pieces that we pre-make and we sell, correct? So I'm going to use that as the bottom, and I am going to, even though this is already hard and solid, see, I'm going to use this as my base, and I'm going to do it like right here, and you can sometimes break it. And then where's my nail file? And then I'm just going to use this nail file to kind of round the edges so it's not so stark on the edges. And I appreciate you guys spending time, taking the time out of your Friday mornings to watch. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay? Okay, so again, I'm just gonna, boy, I did that just right. Usually I over pour everything and end up wasting stuff. This is just the right amount. And don't throw the piece away that we broke off, because who knows, you could use that for something else. Now, just because this particular piece, I broke it with my hand, it's still, this stuff still is pretty durable. Only reason why this one was easy to break is because it's, you know, it's thinner. We have some that are bigger pieces that probably would not. Now, I'm a girl measurer. I don't measure like my husband does, where, oh, this is not the exact, well, I don't care, okay? All right, so now what you do, this is the part like I did yesterday, see? You would have to let this dry. However, we can, I think I'm done with that. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of air on this with the hair dryer so it can kind of dry just a little bit, because I want to put a quick coat of paint on this while we move over to the next actually, I guess we don't have to. Well, yeah, I want to. So just, oops. Flying everywhere. Now this isn't going to dry it completely hard, but you can paint it when it's, well, like for instance, if I was going to put it around that pot I showed you earlier, I would put it, if I were doing something in a hurry, I could still paint it when it's wet, okay? I generally try to get some of it kind of dry like I'm doing now. Hi, Anna. Thank you for watching. Hi, Miss Nancy. Oh, Anna. Thank you for watching. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough that I can paint on it. Because I want to just put a quick thing of paint on this, which is, where is it? Oh, right here. It doesn't have to be perfect. Where's my little brush? Right here. Does not have to be perfect because, like I said, I'm doing an experiment with something that, and I'm just going to, I'll use this. Okay, put a little bit, not a lot, don't need a lot. I'm just gonna, because you need a smaller brush to go in to all these crevices, and see how I'm covering up the yellow glue anyway, okay? And I'm doing this so that there's a coating on here, basically, for the next step. And, okay, let's see here. Okay, this is the same color of the board that I painted, so it doesn't matter if I get any on the board. I just want to get it in these little crevices. That's all I want to do at this point. Okay, I think I got it all. And see, boom, covered up that yellow glue. Perfect, right? Okay. Oops, a little bit more here. Come on, get in there. Okie dokie. All right. So, we're doing a lot of procedures today. We're working on molds. We're going to be working on decoupage. We're going to be working on waxing. And let me see what else. I don't think I need that anymore. This is going to be for this brush. Okay, these I don't need. All right, so let's move this. You see? Now, not all urns have to have handles. This could, it doesn't even have to be considered an urn, okay? But you'll get the idea. So, let's see. So, I'm just looking at my notes so that, okay. So now, here's the big shebang one, okay? We're going to move, I'm going to put this over here. Okay. So, here's the piece that I did yesterday. And, okay, now look at this guy. Huh? Isn't that cool? Can you see it? Oh yeah, okay. So you can tell here that I've used all different kinds of molds, okay? The left and rights of these two. Here's a piece of that little piece that I had before. Here's another kind of mold. This one is as well. This one. So this is the urn, okay? Now, the product that I'm going to put on here, I'm going to put it on before I do the other part because I want this to kind of dry a little bit. So what we're going to do is, I've never used Crackle on the clay before. So this is brand new jar actually. I'm gonna stir this. Now, this one I believe actually does say to stir, but just as a reminder that even though our paint products say shake, I stir, okay? And my general rule of thumb is every time you've opened up that lid, you stir it, okay? And I want to do this so that I have a little, I'm still going to use the air dryer or hair dryer. Paintbrush. That would help, wouldn't it? Let me use this guy. Okay. So now the one thing with crackle is you don't want to go back and forth, okay? You want to just kind of go, and I'm just going to, like I say, this is the first time I've done it on clay, because the clay itself, when it dries, it kind of has some cracks in it, which I don't mind. I love it. The more cracks it has, the better. But I'm going to try this and see if we can get a crackle effect on this clay. Now, this is one coat of paint that I put on here. This is the color Drop Cloth, again in our Dixie Belle line. And, okay, and I'm not just putting it on the molds. I'm putting it all, I don't want it out in here, but I do want it, okay. And yes, I'm pouncing because I want to get it in all these, as many of the little crevices as I can. Okay. And some areas I am going kind of in different directions. Because if this was a flat surface and you just wanted the cracks to be, you know, the crackle part to be all nice and straight, you can do it all nice and straight. But of course, with this, boy, got a mess going. Okay, so I'm putting this all in the little crevices, okay? Now, of course, like I say, I saw this from a friend of mine on Facebook, and she used a different product. So and it turned out great, but I like to use whatever products I have. And from what I understand, it's a newer product that's hit the US, so I'm just going to use whatever I can. Okay. Get up in here because you want some of that. Like I say, the clay itself has little cracks in it already when it dries, but I'm hoping that this will do exactly what hers did, so we can use our own product, right? Okay, so now, oh my gosh, what in the world am I doing here? See, that's what's throwing me off too, is I hardly ever paint from my containers. Now, what clay mold from what company? Well, Betty, I no longer sell that clay, and I no longer sell those molds. And to be honest with you, it was two different companies. I used to sell the Prima molds, so, and that was back in the day too, when the IOD girls were there. So I couldn't tell you of those molds which ones were IOD and which ones were Prima. And this clay I've had for a while. So, and I don't know what in the real package. I've had it in that thing. Okay, so I'm going to let this, I'm going to dry it a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Uh-oh. I mean, what do you call it? Sprinkling, Betty. Thank you. So I'm just going to let this, normally they say you're supposed to let this, after you put the other coat on. You know, the concept of the crackle is that once the, okay. All right. So the concept of crackle is that you put a layer of paint down, you put the crackle on, Then you put a second coat of paint on, sometimes, most often, a separate color, and then the crackle starts to take form and you see the underlying coat is the crackle. We're going to do a little bit something different today. I'm hoping it works with my product. Okay, so now, so now what I'm going to do is, thank goodness I have all this stuff within 2 steps. So I'm going to now, because this is going to be a floral topiary, I'm going to, let me give you a hint too. This is pine. See all those knots in there? We have a product called Boss that you could put over this and it will help the knots to bleed through, because pine, that's where pine bleeds through, are the knots. But what you can also do is you could put a coat of top coat on it as a sealer, and that will stop the bleed through as well. So that's what I did with this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this as a guide, this tape, as a guide to be where my stem's going to be. Let me see, that almost, wow, that basically does look like it's in the middle, doesn't it? Okay. 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 Now, this is going to be too long. Okay. Actually, I think it's about right here. Okay. Now, we do sell transfers, but I saw a thing of flowers that I wanted without using transfers. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, this started out, I found this picture on the computer, and this is going to be my topiary. Okay, now you're going to go, oh my gosh, you know, that's a lot of cutting. Literally, it didn't take me very long. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want the paint line, even though, now if this was a true transfer, which it is not, the transfers have a tendency, you know, to be a little bit transparent. So the stem would be showing, but I'm gonna not put it on there. Okay, so that looks kind of good. Bring this down just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, instead of a transfer, we're going to decoupage, okay? Because if you don't have a transfer, you can just decoupage. So that's what we're going to do. And I literally just cut, I've got some crackle or glue on my hands. So I just cut that picture out that I showed you, and I'm going to decoupage this. Now, I don't buy anything special for decoupage. I use our clear coats, our Dixie Belle clear coats, okay? Oh, let me use this one. So, this is, I just use satin. You could use whatever you want, preferably, generally flat or satin. Okay, where's that brush? Oh, what happened? Well, I'm all mixed up today, aren't I? So, I'm going to use this brush. Yeah, this is fine. I'll use this brush. Okay, so when you decoupage, you have to decoupage the back without it getting stuck on there, okay? Now, what's cool also about this is I could take this and put it on a piece of wax paper, decoupage it, bring it over here, okay? I'm using this as my top coat anyway after I'm done with everything, so it's not going to matter if I get some, you know, on the edge. Okay, so you just put some clear coat, These have some little fine edges, so you want to make sure that you get those little fine cut edges. It didn't take me long to cut that out. We do have some in the Dixie Belle line of some florals. Fortunately, the one I wanted to use, I only had one left, so I didn't have enough flowers. So that's why I had to resort to the good old computer and the internet. Okay, so now I just pulled this up. Can't see it all. Uh-oh. Okay, so now I'm going to push this down. Okay. Can you see now, Betty? Let me move this forward. Okay. Okay. So I'm just sticking this down. And just like in any decoupage, I use my fingers first. Okay. And this doesn't really have, this is just printed on regular printer paper. And this doesn't have any bubbles. If you were to have bubbles or wrinkles in your decoupaging, you can use a brayer, but I often use, I just put my hand in a Ziploc bag or a plastic bag and you rub it like this, okay? So look at, cute, right? All right, now, okay, so I have some extras here. Oh, this piece actually was the bottom of the pot. See, it went like this in the, you know, on the picture. So I just took the picture and just kind of sized it. So now, this part. So now I'm gonna want this part on here, okay? But I'm going to paint my stem first, okay? So I'm gonna take this off. Okay. Get my good old pine cone paint here, which I may have to mix with a little bit of white, but that's okay, depending on. Now, remember, I'm not an artist, so I'm hoping I can paint just a regular old stem looking. Now, here was also my thought, and I almost was going to do this, is you could do this dimensional. You could take flowers, all different flowers, and glue them on here and make them dimensional. Okay, you could do that as well. You could do the same thing. Yeah, you could do the same thing with the stem. Is you could, I don't want a lot on there right away. You could do the same thing with the stem. Couldn't you, wouldn't it be cool to put like a regular piece of wood on there? Okay. So this is about middle. If it's crooked, who cares, right? Okay. I should have probably used a different kind of brush. Actually, I'm going to. I like these little brushes that have the angle on them, see? Okay. And, of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm just going to lightly come up here around the flower. Okay, and kind of bring this in a little bit. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Because I've never seen a branch that's perfect. Okay. All right. There. Maybe a little bit whiter. And remember, I'm not an artist. Okay? But I think I can get by with doing a branch. Okay. All right. So there's that. Okay. So now, stick that in there. Okay. Now, we want some cuteness down here. So, this, I'm going to put this right there. I need to trim it. Okay. I wasn't sure how much of this yeah, see how? Okay. So now we're going to blow dry this paint. Keep all my papers. Okay, now I'm going to take this and put right here, okay, because it looked, you know, I'm going to soften this edge a little bit. So it looks like there's some, you know, flowers down at the bottom. This was a cute, cute watercolor that I thought was pretty cool. So again, I'm going to decoupage this. Okay, so, all right, kind of just stick it in here. Okay, put it down. Okay, now, yes, when you're decoupage, you do the back and you do the front. Okay, but I'm not going to do this part yet, because here is where we're going to do the experiment of trying to make it look kind of old. And I'm going to try to hurry because I know I'm running time. Okay, so let's hope that this is going to work on this. A little bit. Let me just dry this a little bit. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my clear wax, our Best Dang wax, and yes, it looks white, but it definitely is clear. These are my brushes that I use. These are chip brushes that I cut. You're right, Betty. See? Thank you, doll. I don't like to be perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to take some clear wax and I'm just going to wax over all this. Okay? Just on this urn part. Wax all over it. Okay? And this is the part, remember, that I've never put wax over crackle before. Maybe there's other people have. I have not. So like I said, this is an experiment to me. Okay. And I'm hoping this crackle, what happened is that the product that she was using, it actually made the wax crackle. So I don't know. I'm just trying it on here so that I want to get in all the little crevices as much as I can. Okay. All right, so that's the clear wax. And remember, you have to put clear wax on before you put the colored waxes, right? Because that helps for the the movement of the darker waxes. You can get the same effect as if you put a top coat on and then your waxes, but I like to just do what we're supposed to with the thing. Okay, so now this is the brown wax. I'm going to try not to do as much, but that's okay because we'll be washing it off anyway. Not washing it off, buffing it off, okay? So let that, okay, here it goes. I'm just going to be very gently with it, okay? I'm just doing kind of feather brush strokes. I'm not doing it real heavy, okay? Okay. Okay. So now, I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, so now I'm just going to wax this, rub this off with a soft towel or cloth, t-shirt, whatever you want to do. Okay. Ooh, I put a lot on, I think. See, that's what I was thinking, babe. I was hoping to try it the way she did it, but let me see. I think it's still kind of, it may not crackle, but shoot, it still looks cool. Old, you know, we want that old kind of look. Actually, it kind of looks like it's might do it. Let me see here. Kind of get in here a little bit. I don't want it real dark. You know, just enough to show where it looks like it's aged. Okay. Actually, I think it looks pretty cool, even though over here it looks like it's doing something. Maybe we'll see what happens overnight, huh? Who knows? And then, like you say, maybe bye, Betty. Thank you for coming. So what I'm going to do is, if it doesn't turn out like I want, maybe I'll try like what Betty said is, because I already have the wax on, maybe I'll put crackle on that, and let's see what happens overnight, huh? Okay. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit on here. Okay. Okay, you know what? I think that crackle is peeling. Well, it looks cool. Okay. And I don't care if it's on the, I mean, I might even take some of this wax and kind of put all over. I love this drop cloth color. It's one of my favorites. You know, and like you can see, I'm just using the wax that I already have on my cloth that I basically rubbed off from the urn and lightly putting it, you know, around it. Okay. And I'll do the same to this. Now, on transfers, if this was a transfer, you could go ahead and put wax on top of the, I'm gonna, yep, I think, okay. Here's some more. Put some up here. Okay. Buff it out a little bit. Thank you, Rachel. Okay. 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 Well, I might as well just finish it, right? Okay, let me put all this up here. Now you can kind of tell the wax isn't taking the sections where I put the top coat on, but that's okay. That's okay, because, okay, let me see here. I think it's cool. All right, so now, what did I do with my, oh, here. So now I'm gonna put the top coat. The top coat, because this is the decoupage. Now, if this was a transfer, depending on the brand of transfer that you use, some transfers say you put a top coat on before you put the transfer. Some say put the transfer or do the top coat after. Depending on what that manufacturer says to use. I kind of do my own thing. Haven't had any trouble. So, okay. I'm doing the top coat now because of the fact that this is a decoupage piece. So you have to put the top coat on. Okay. Now, I'm noticing that I'm putting the top coat on and it's kind of bubbling the paper. That's because the water in the top coat is activating, but overnight it will dry. Okay? It will, as the paper dries and the top coat dries, it will, the bubbles will, so to speak, okay, I'm just gonna put this on. Well, I still think it looks cool. It may not have worked with the crackle part, but what I might do is put more crackle on over the wax. Okay. Actually, maybe I'll try that, do that method on the small one. But look how cute, huh? You have to admit, it looks pretty cool, right? Can you see the whole thing? Okay. And you could probably cut some of the other leaves, like I had some other leaves here. And you could put down here like a fallen leaf. Oh, I know what else I was gonna do. I'm running out of time, but I can't do it now. But you could leave it as this. You could put some lettering, some verbiage, you know, on here. You could just leave it just like this. Another idea I thought of is you could almost kind of paint like a 1/2 inch or a 1 inch border around this in a different color. Black or brown or whatever to you know, look at more like a frame. But I think it looks pretty cool. And I didn't use a transfer. I just used regular inkjet printer I think I might put a little bit more wax down in here. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. You can add some moss. Yeah, if you wanted to do a dimensional, you could do moss here. You can, again, you can maybe put some flowers or some real, artificial leaves or something around here or something. There's endless possibilities. You could do this with any kind of flower, This one I just happened to choose because it was very pretty and had multiple colors. So anyway, well, I will work on the small one. This is the flower. I'll show you real quick. These were the flowers that I'm going to use on the small one. Again, I printed this paper out right here, and I cut this set of flowers out, this set of flowers, and all these little different leaves, and I'm going to use that on my small one, okay? And that's it. All right, guys. Well, again, I appreciate the fact that you guys came in and watched. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. And hopefully you guys can chime in next Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. And sorry I kept you over a little bit. But I was so excited. I just think this is so cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much, honey. See you guys later.